Blog Talk Radio.
He is the last of his kind. All that remains of a once powerful nation. Some think he is a myth. Some believe he is the chosen one, who will bring balance to a world at war. And some will stop at nothing to destroy him.
Talk Live 100. I'm your host, Tarhaka Amana LB. And this evening, we will be dealing with race, gender, and wealth, the core of America. What is that all about? The truth about the birth certificate and the owner thereof. Trust law versus contract law. Man, government, and land. Do you own what you steal? How much food should a man eat at one time? Is there a drug policy in America? And is there a prison policy in America? These are just a few of the things, the main thrust of what we're going to be dealing with here this evening. And any and everything in between. The phone lines will be open after the first hour of this broadcast. And keep in mind that we will be in Atlanta, Georgia, for the Moorish Summit of 2015. Okay, that will happen so make sure you stay tuned to find out the exact date so you'll know when we'll be there and when we'll be able to interact with each other. I'll be there, and I'll get a chance to talk with you. I'll see you, you'll see me, and all of this good business, and get a wealth of information and knowledge of how we need to be straightening this stuff out. But tonight, what we are going to do, and what I'm planning to do, is shed some light on some stuff that we really need to understand, because we're doing a lot. I mean, hey, ain't no doubt in my mind, we got a lot of brothers and sisters in America that's shaking it up. I mean, they doing all kind of stuff. But in my opinion, I think there's a little bit extra that they need to know. So tonight, this show is about to bring it all out. Okay? Now, one more time. I hope you got paper and pencil handy and all of that good stuff. We're going to go down into the commercials, and when we come back, we're going to start dealing with this stuff. Okay? So y'all hold on a minute.
I'm sitting here thinking about the ways of the world, trying to make sense of it all. I don't know what happened, how I found you, girl. I guess it was my turn to fall. Thought I was strong, had my feet on the ground, but your kiss, baby, turned my whole life around. I guess that love, sweet love, has a mind of its own. I know love. when I thought my life was through. Out of nowhere, baby, I found you. Yeah. That love, sweet love, has a mind of its own. I tell you, love, sweet love, has a mind of its own. There's no way to control it. It's not just our own, but it's the best thing this world ever knows. Love, sweet love, has a mind of its own. It can take you to heaven or drive you down on the knees. But no matter what love puts us through, girl, you know, I want to share all with you. I want to share all with you. There's no way to control it. It's not just our own, but it's the best thing this world ever knows. Love, sweet love, has a mind of its own. I know for sure. Love, sweet love, yes, has a mind of its own. Baby, you turn my head around.
But you didn't have time to fix your lunch. Don't worry, Auntie's Home Cooking and Catering is here for you. Simply give us a call and we'll bring lunch to you. A fresh and delicious home-cooked meal at an affordable price. We here at Auntie's bring over 25 years of restaurant and food preparation experience to the table, and all of our meals are prepared according to quality and safety policies and regulations. Be sure to check out our website to request service at www.auntieshomecookingandcatering.com or call Sharon Hunter or Felicia Camara at 469-206-6523. Again, that's 469-206-6523, and we'll bring lunch to you.
Okay, check this out. The entire U.S. operates on contracts. Everything is about a contract. We have to learn how to create our own contracts and enforce them. Instead of always being a victim of somebody else's contracts they enforce, let's launch some of our own. Go to www.newdebtelimination.com. Contact me, Tarhaka Amana Bay, 904-303-9061. We don't have to continue to be a victim. We can do something about this thing, man. And once you learn the rules of the game and you learn how to formulate your own contract and how to enforce them, it's on and popping. Give me a call, 904-303-9061 before 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Go to newdebtelimination.com.
All right, Mons, we back. Now, I'm going to take the subject matter that we are dealing with here today, and we're going to deal with each one of them point by point. How about that? I think that's fair enough. The first one out is race. The title of the broadcast is Race, Gender, and wealth. I think they're real, real simple. But we're going to take the first one out. Now, this is how I see it. Just common sense. Just, I'm going to say that I never went to school a day in my life. I'm just looking. I'm just looking at what I see. I'm just putting piece to piece together, and I might know, based on what somebody told me, that 1 + 1 is 2. That's all I got. I ain't got nothing else. I'm just looking. This is what I see. Regarded as, seen as, looked at as, respected as somebody with a nationality. When I walk through my neighborhood, I see restaurants, I see stores, and I see all of these things that's owned, run, and controlled by somebody that don't look so, looking at the race part. But I noticed that all of the people, or the majority of the people, that come in and give away their money is someone who looks like me. Well, I'm going to turn around and I'm going to go over to the prison because, in my opinion, I think that the ones that's doing all the paying and giving to all the people that don't look like them, they need to be all the people that's free and out here on the street. So I'm going over to the prison and looking there and see if I see all the people in there that don't look like me. But when I got to the door and I got in there, everything, the majority of the people I see in there is someone that look like me. I'm scratching my head now because I'm trying to figure out what could possibly be the problem. Because there is definitely a problem based on what I see. I notice that when I go downtown to the jail, looking there, everybody in there look like me. Something is wrong. I got to figure this out because I have some power. As soon as I get some money, I go and I give it to someone that don't look like me, so there's no reason in the world why I should fill all the jails and prisons across the country. So that means that something is wrong. That tells me that something is wrong. I ain't got no education now. I ain't got nothing but just since I was born with it. I don't have no degrees. I don't have a bachelor's degree. I don't have a diploma. I don't have an associate's degree. I don't have a Bachelor of Arts degree. I don't have a science degree. I don't have none of that. None of that. I'm just looking as the common Joe on the street. What I'm looking at doesn't look right to me. It's something wrong. I can smell it. I can see it. It is so thick, I can almost touch it, but not quite. Because I have to define it. Well, I'm going to define it if I don't have no degrees, no knowledge, none of that. Defining something? How am I going to do that? Well, we're still dealing with race. What I notice about race is that all of the people that own all the stores that we are going in and giving our money to they all have one thing in common. We have the Chinese restaurant, we have the Chinese hair store, we have the Korean hair store, the Korean nail store, we have the Japanese this, we have the Indian this, we have the Mexican restaurant, we have Taco Bell, we have all of these different things. But one thing that I noticed about all of these people, and keep in mind, I told you I don't have no education. I just looking. I'm just looking. I don't, I don't need. I ain't got nobody that can designate or put on no piece of paper that I have no knowledge about nothing. I ain't got none of that. I'm just happen to be passing by, and I see something that's not making sense to me. I was yesterday. I was standing on the corner with Bernard and them, so to speak. One of these kind of situations, and ain't none of us got no diploma about nothing. We just looking. But one thing I noticed is all of the people and by the way, they are all in the area where I live. All of them. We have the Greeks, we have the Mexicans, we have the Caucasians, we have the Chinese, we have the Japanese, we have the Indian. All of these people are in my community. One thing I noticed about all of them that they have in common is all of them, because I questioned them, they all told me the same thing. I asked one question. What's your nationality? Well, I'm Korean. And when I went to the Japanese restaurant, I said, well, excuse me, what's your nationality? I'm Japanese. And when I got to the Mexican restaurant, I asked them, what's your nationality? I'm Mexican. When I got to the Mediterranean, when I got to the Jamaican restaurant, I'm Jamaican. All of these people have a nationality. Something is wrong. Because I remember back in the day when the first thing that I knew anything about was, well, we colored. Colored. On my birth certificate, I need to find out about that. I got a hold of that. I looked on it and it say, sure enough, colored. Okay, so I start searching for the colored government, land, the colored military, the colored guns, the colored explosives, the colored this, that, and other. I didn't find no colored nothing, nowhere. And then I said, well, okay, maybe that I'm looking in the wrong place. I need to be looking at something else. Then I noticed that I ran into something going from the 60s into the 70s. 70s where we said, say it loud. I'm black and I'm proud. Okay. But everybody had an afro. And they were saying, well, I'm African American. I said, okay, that's it. That I got it now. I got it. Because I just left the Korean restaurant. He told me his nationality was Korean. So I'm going over here. I'm going to talk to the brothers and the sisters, and I'm going to go and dig up and find out where Afro-American land is, where the Afro-American government is, where the Afro-American culture is, where the Afro-American guns are, explosives are, snipers are. Where's your military? What you got? And I couldn't find that. I said, okay, well, because I noticed all the other people that told me they have a nationality, all of them have a government. And in the accoutrements of their government, they have their nationality, they have their constitution, they have a flag, and no matter where they are on the earth, their government is prepared to back them up because they have a nationality. They are associated with the nationality, and all of them, which was interesting, very interesting, all of them had one family name. There was China and there was Chinese. There was Cuba and there was Cubans. There was Mexico and there was Mexicans. There was Korean and there was Korea. And there was Japan and there were Japanese. There was Australia and there was Australians. But I'm looking at the Afro-Americans. I can't find the land, but I'm not going to give up because I'm going to look and see if I can find the other part because we moved to a whole nother different area, and it said African America. Oh, that solves it. That's it. That's out. We were never colored. We were never Afro-Americans. We are African Americans. Okay, I'm going to work now. So I got to find out where the African American land is. I got to find out where the African American government is. I got to find out where the African American snipers are. Where's the African American demolition men are? The African American communications expert are. Where are the African American this, that, and the other, and all the electronics communication, all of this right here should be in there, and they should be able to put at least 45,000 mad, you know what, with guns anywhere. There's a problem. But I can't find the African American government or land or flag or anything else. We deal with the Afro, we deal with the African, and because I'm trying to find this thing because one thing I know is my great-great-granddaddy, he was a master fisherman. My granddaddy was a master fisherman, and all the wives and daughters are master fishermen. Taught me a long time ago that every fish in the ocean has a name and a history or an ancient story. It can clearly be separated, each one, from every other fish in the sea. We know that there is only one great white shark or derivative of that shark. We know that there is a killer whale. We know that a land shark. We know that there is a plankton eater, a whale shark. We know there's whiting. We know there's grouper. We know there's red snapper. We know there's bluefish. We know that there is mullet. We know that there is all these different types of fish. But I look at one fish that I found very, very interesting. This fish here, he was a nautilus fish. He had this little thing on there. He's just as tiny as he can be. The bigger fish swallow him, and when they swallow him, they spit him out because he be sticking them in the mouth. They spit him out. And he has an ancient story too. But then we got this other fish, and they're small, but they catch them in nets, and they bring them in, and they cut the head off and cut the tail off, and they put them in a can, and they put a label on the can called sardine. Started doing research and stuff, and I need somebody to help me read, because remember, I ain't got no education. Somebody will have to read for me, and I just sit there and listen, because once I get it, I can do some thinking and talking, but I can't read. Okay, now, so we got this fish in a can, and it's been labeled as sardine. But out of all the research that we ever tried to turn over, I have yet to find anything remotely resembling something in the ancient record where there was a fish in the ocean at any point in time in history, or our ancient story, called a sardine. And then after other research, we found out that it was manufactured inside the United States, and it had been castrated away from the families of the earth: the whale, the shark, the grouper, the red snapper, whiting, the croaker, and on, and the catfish, and on, and on, and on, and on, and on. So, if I put one and one together, that can explain some things for me. If there's no such thing, and there never have been any such thing as a colored man or colored woman, and there have never, ever been any such thing as a Negro, and there have never, ever, ever been any such thing as an Afro-American, and there has never, ever in the history of the world, of an African American, then how can we possibly identify this fish or this man or this woman? And not only that, why did this happen to these particular individuals? Why? We're going to deal with that tonight. Yeah, we are. We're going to deal with that tonight. Because I found out that there is a reason why the United States Supreme Court Justice named Clarence Thomas is not viewed as a man. There's a reason why Colin Powell turned in his resignation. There's a reason why Oprah Winfrey had her broadcast, and a man got up on there and disrespected her and rolled off the back of everybody else. There's a reason why things happen to people classified as Negro, colors, blacks, African Americans, Afro-Americans, and African Americans, and any other brand that you can attach to yourself. Just like the sardine. There is no such fish in the ocean. It was created and manufactured inside the United States. My point is this, and keep in mind, I'm just a dummy. I cannot read. I want you to use your imagination. Just act like I can't read. And in real life, I definitely do not have a college degree. And I want to thank my Creator for not allowing me to be miseducated any further. For that, Lord, thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for us to go on a journey. What we need to do is find out not only what the problem is, but what's the solution. Because from what I see, and this is what I see, all the people that ain't filling up the prisons because there is no policy in America on the books about prison, and the ones who are using some of the drugs, but the majority of the drugs and cocaine that's being used inside America are used by the people that's not filling up the prison. We got to unravel this mystery and get down to the bottom line and the nitty gritty of what going on. That's just my opinion on this thing. We're going to unravel that. I'm going to take a little quick break, and when we go back, I'm going in. Okay? Y'all hold on a minute.
Us here in America, black people in America, not only spiritually, but as well as giving us the incentive to solve some of our problems here at home.
One of your more controversial remarks some times back was a call for black people to get rifles and form rifle clubs. Do you still favor that for self-defense?
Well, I don't see why that's controversial. I think that if white people find themselves the victims of the same kind of violence that black people have found themselves victims of here in America, and if the government was either unable or unwilling to do anything about it, I think that it would be intelligence on their part to defend themselves.
Well, white people, let me help you with these thoughts. Your population is going down. The more black and white get together, the less white you'll see. If you want to die as a race, where there'll be no more white people on the planet, you're on the road to doing that by literally promoting miscegenation, promoting racial intermarriage. Now, they had something on CNN the other day, who is black? Well, you answered that years ago. If we had one drop of black blood in us, we are no longer, you are no longer white. Well, look at those that are half white, like our president. Can you deny that he's black? Check his hair out. Check his lips. Check his nose. You call him a monkey. You make mockery of his beautiful black wife. You're not blind to who he is. Cory Booker and the mayor of Washington, they are part white, part black. But what part is the part that makes them black? It's that blood. And the more you intermix with us, we will see the end of you by 2050. There won't be any more white people if you don't realize that separation will save you, and separation will give you more.
And I mean, hear it from a black guy. You guys, you guys are on the road to ruin with this integration bullshit, mixing in and having mixed it. Pretty soon there ain't gonna be no white people left. You look 20, 30 years down the line, white folks are going to be such a minority that you guys are going to have to stay in your houses and stuff because we're going to be running around. I mean, you got mixed children popping up everywhere. My whole thing is genocide and all that. You guys have done that to yourself with this immigration bullshit, mixing in and all that. You guys are killing off your own. I don't understand that shit. Me as a black man, I mean, I got common sense. You keep mixing in a white guy with a black guy or a white guy with a Mexican person, then after a while, there's no white guys left.
The more black and white get together, the less white you'll see. If you want to die as a race, where there'll be no more white people on the planet, you're on the road to doing that.
Any white woman in this audience today, any white man in this audience today, in their right mind, don't want little black boys and little black girls coming around your homes, schools, and churches, looking to marry your sons and daughters, and in return, introducing your grandchildren as little half-brown, kinky-haired Negro children. No intelligent black man in this audience, no intelligent black woman in this audience want little white boys and little white girls coming to marry their sons and daughters, and in return, introducing your grandchildren as little half-white, green-eyed, blonde-haired Negroes. We are not seeking to lose our identity in blood mixing and our beautiful black African history. We don't hate you. We don't hate those of you who are white. We just want to stay black. We love my color. I just love myself.
People to move in the neighborhoods, but clean their own neighborhoods. And another thing, when you say integration, it comes under intermarriage too, right? All being together.
Right, sure.
And I'm sure no intelligent white person watching this show, or no intelligent white man in his or her right white mind, want black boys and black girls marrying their white sons and daughters, and in return introducing their grandchildren as half-brown, kinky-haired black people.
I wouldn't object to that.
Well, you wouldn't, but a lot of them would.
Well, I'm sure a lot of people. No, this is the point.
What I'm trying to say is this. You don't have it. You say you don't, but you don't have it. You really ain't gonna have it. You're on the show, and you got to say that.
That's not true.
Why would you want to do that?
Because I don't think I'm any different from you. You see.
Yeah, we're much different.
I mean, I think society's made us different.
You know we're different. We're all together.
But society's made us different.
No, not society. God made us different.
No, we're just human beings. He made all of us.
We all listen. Bluebirds fly with bluebirds. Red birds want to be with red birds. Listen. Tell me when I'm wrong. Pigeons want to be with pigeons.
But
tell me when I'm right. They don't have intelligence, but yet they stay together. We should have more intelligence than them, right? Buzzards are with buzzards. Buzzards are with buzzards. Bluebirds are with bluebirds. They all are birds, but they got different cultures. The eagles like to hang out in the mountains. The buzzard like to fly around the desert.
Well,
the bluebird like to fly around the trees and the grass.
There'd be certain problems a buzzard mating with a sparrow, wouldn't there?
What?
There'd be certain.
Right. And we have the problems too.
No,
I don't see no black and white couples in England or America walking around proud, holding their children.
That's because society...
And going out.
That's society's fault. We've got to educate people around it.
Well, life is too short for me to be raised catching hell for something like that. I'd rather go and be my own. I have a beautiful daughter, beautiful wife. They look like me. We're all happy, and I don't have no trouble. I have no trouble. I ain't that much in love with no woman to go through all that hell. Ain't no one woman that good. You understand?
I understand, yeah. I do understand. I understand. I think it's sad that...
It ain't sad because I want my child to look like me. Every intelligent person wants his child to look like him. I'm sad because I want to blot out my race and lose my beautiful identity. Chinese love Chinese. They love the little slanted-eyed, pretty brown-skinned babies. Pakistanis love their culture. Jewish people love their culture. A lot of Catholics don't want to marry number Catholics. They want the religion to stay the same. Who want to spot up yourself and kill your race? You a hater of your people if you don't want to stay who you are. You shame what God made you. God didn't make no mistake when He made us all like we were.
I think that's a philosophy of despair.
Despair.
I really do.
It ain't no despair.
Number
one, can't no woman. Let me tell you something. I want to tell you. Listen, no woman on this whole earth, not even a black woman in Muslim countries, can please me and cook for me and socialize and talk to me like my American black woman. No woman, at last, is a white woman, can really identify with me and my feelings and the way I act and the way I talk. See? And you can't take no Chinese man and give him no Puerto Rican woman and holler about we're in love and you emotionally in love and physically, but really they're not happy because she's going to hear some Puerto Rican music, he's going to hear some Chinese music, and they're going to be clashing all the time. It's just nature. You can do what you want, but it's nature to want to be with your own. I want to be with mine. I love my...
We're back, Mo. Now, I played that piece because I think that was beautifully put, and we're still dealing with race. And I want to conclude on race before we go to the next piece, which is gender. And then eventually we're going to deal with the wealth piece. Okay? All right. Now, race, once again, I found out through trial and error that no man, I don't care how many guns and badges he got, I don't care if he's the general of the United States military or the general of the U.S. Navy or the admiral of the Air Force or however it goes, no man or no real woman can respect a man or another woman that don't know who they are. They can't. And as long as you insist on being black, my question still remains to you: what's your nationality? Where's your land? Where's your government? And where is your military? That's my question to you. And it just so happens that there's no such thing as black people. There was never any such thing in the United States as a Negro. Never, ever in the ancient story of this world, and never, ever in history, unless it was put there. If it was put there, it was put there for a reason. All people on the planet have a nationality. All nationalities are associated with a landmass. All nationalities have a flag, they have a government, and they have a constitution. All of them. They have rules and regulations and guidelines that they can live by. Self-preservation is the law of nature. So when one man from someplace else attempts to violate you against your will, you have to defend yourself. You have no choice. Otherwise, you will die. And I learned a long time ago, my granddad told me, he said, boy, he said, look here, there may be a time that you might have to defend yourself and the fight might get hot. But you can't fold. You got to do what you got to do until the enemy lay you down. And if you don't lay you down, you lay him down. That's the way it goes. And that is the way it goes in every culture. The man that was called Geronimo was a real live man, and there was no mistake about his identity and what he did. Crazy Horse, Sitting Bull, John Horse, and all the rest of them. They were real live men. They all had the same teaching because that was standard across the board. But we have a society today that say, just like Barbara Sizemore said, wait your turn. Don't cheat. Lay down. Be good. Respect somebody that told you they have some authority. But in my opinion, how can I be a man if I'm folded and holding? I don't understand that kind of thing. My brain is not filled with religion. It has been removed, and fear has been removed and replaced by skill. There's a whole different set of circumstances. That don't mean I gotta get ugly, or raise no hell, or jump and shout and hoop. You know, that don't mean none of that. It don't mean none of that. But when it comes to race, everybody on the planet has a nationality. The Negro, he had a nationality. He didn't know it. The colored man, he had a nationality, but he didn't know it. The Afro-American had a nationality, but he didn't know it. The Afro-American, he didn't know it. All of these brands were manufactured right here in the United States of America, just like the sardines. And if you open up a can of sardines, you will see the fish or what's left of him. His head is removed and his tail is cut short. He has been cut off by the head of knowledge of self. He has been cut off by the tail of his ancient roots. That's the problem. We're under the impression that we can go to a school, a college, a university, get a master's, a bachelor's, an associate of science, and all these degrees, but none of us that's going through and jumping through all of these hoops are wealthy. I'm only talking about the ones that believe they are black, or believe that their granddad and grandmama was a Negro, or colored, that believe their auntie and uncle were Afro-Americans or African-Americans. You have nationality all the time. Your nationality was associated with the government. Your land stretched from the north and southwestern shores of Africa, the entire Atlantic Ocean, North, Central, and South America, and all of the adjoining islands. That's your land. But it just so happened that you were never black. You were never colored. You were never Negro. You were never African-American. You were never Afro-American. So, and keep in mind, I ain't got no sense. They didn't give me no master's degree and pat me on the shoulder and then gave me a piece of paper and didn't give me no money. Gave me and said, well, look, you're going to graduate to get an associate of science degree. We will give you, you got to pay us $750. That's just a fee, to get the, don't worry about that. But you'll get the piece of paper. And then we're going to give you a bachelor's. There's a little fee with that. You got to pay that little fee in order to get that. And I got all of them. But still, something ain't right. Still broke. I'm still scuffling. I still need to go get a job, and ain't nobody hiring. Why? Because on the application, when you figure out everything, when the little spot on there, would say nationality, ethnicity, race, you check the box black. If you look at the rest of the names on there, they say Chinese, they say Asian. If Asian, he trying to get out, all you can do is check Asian. Why? When they see him, he look Asian. That's it. That's all. We automatically know who you are. But when the black come up, okay, you still think you colored, you still think you Negro, you a brand, you a sardine, you have yet to do anything about nationality. You haven't claimed that. You haven't done it nationally. We don't know nothing about your government. We don't know nothing about you. And besides, the media has said such and such a thing about you. We are afraid of you. When I pull up, if you're standing to the red light and I pull up to the red light, I hit the button on my door and my door is locked because you might be trying to get in. Because you're evil, you're wicked. The book that we have is white, pure, righteous, pure as the driven snow, righteous, and right, and all of this, and love, and all of that. But when you look at the word black, it says evil, dark, foreboding, wicked, and all this. So all this right here is out on you. But you check the box, black. Okay.
So you got a degree. You got a master's degree. You got a bachelor's degree. You was even on TV a couple of times. You was on a few radio broadcasts on a few times. You live. You be clean. Your clothes be clean, and you try to smile. You try to be as kind as you can. When you go to the grocery store, you try to be as polite and courteous to the police as you could possibly be, but you are not respected. You still are not loved. You still don't have the truth. There is no peace, and there certainly is no justice for you. Why don't you try having a nationality? Me personally, I don't have all those college degrees. They throwed me out of high school in 11th grade. Never got none of that college stuff, anything. But my God just happened to pick me up and say, well, come on, bring him on along, because the stuff he was doing was right, because he never turned a man that didn't have it coming. He never shot a man that didn't need to be shot. He never beat a man that didn't need to be beaten. So, therefore, he is what is classified as righteous. So what we're going to do is we're going to deal with the second phase of race. Everybody got a nationality, but you, Negro, colored black man. Your nationality is Moorish American. That's already on the books. Your land, I've just described that to you. All you got to do is learn everything about it. You can go to MoorishAmericanGov.org and register and interact with your government, because the United States of America is not a country. It is a corporation, and a corporation cannot have any citizens. So if you're going to be a man, because nobody in America that don't look like you can respect you without a nationality. You cannot be viewed as a man. You cannot be respected as a man. You cannot be looked at as a man. You cannot be regarded as a man or a woman if you don't have a nationality. And that nationality has to be associated with the government. I don't care if you're sitting on the United States Supreme Court, if you are occupying the office of the President of the United States. I do not care if you are general of the Navy or an admiral of the Marines. What's your nationality? Let's get it right. You don't have to go downtown and run down there. You got to do all that. That belongs to your government. Because if it's connected to your government, you should be able to call your government and say, hey, man, I see my finances this way. I can handle myself. I just need to know if you got my back. How many men can we put on the ground from the government? Can we do if we do it right? If I voted for Barack Obama for president of the United States, and me and my wife and my child stood out in the rain and sleet and hail and snow and voted for him, then therefore I should be able to at least call the White House and say, well, look, I need to talk to the brother because, me and my wife, my child, she got the flu right now, but because we was out there in that cold. But we put you in there, brother. I just need to holler at him, make sure he's real and, all this right here. And if nobody call you on the phone, then you should be able to go by the White House and get at the gate and say, well, look, I need, call and say, I'm at the gate. I need y'all to open up the gate to let me in, and so I can holler at my brother, Yeah. Go to jail. Yeah. Corporation can't have no citizen
Because Walmart, I have some. Nationality. If you are a private attorney general, my question to you is, what is your nationality? Who's behind you? And what do they have the power to do for you? That's my question to you. Now, me personally, I have a nationality. I approve all the accoutrements of the government and all of that there. Yeah, got all of that. But I believe that just because I have a gun, that doesn't mean that I have to shoot a man. But that also means that you cannot disrespect me. Else we're going to have a problem. Because, why? I'm a man. Why am I a man? Because I have a nationality. I'm associated with the government. So I had to be a man. Okay. Chinese respect it, ain't it? Japanese respect it. Australians respect it. We got Jamaicans riding all through the city. They got dreads, they got all kind of cars, and look like he might be a killer and all that right here. But do not stop that car because this is a Jamaican. His nationality is Jamaican. He's from the island of Jamaica. He has a culture. The tail is on the fish and the head is on the fish. Now cut away. You will insult him by telling him he's black because he knows there is no such thing as black people. There was never any such thing as colored people or Negroes, Afro-Americans, African-Americans, none of that. Now, that does not mean that we can't go back and get the wisdom and knowledge of our forefathers that put information out to try to educate us who didn't know about nationality. Brothers like Amos Wilson, Francis Cress Wellesley, Scheherazade Ali, and the list goes on and on and on. You listen to the audio, they say, black folks, so and so and so and so. They're trying to relate to you. What is a brand new day? Mercury went retrograde today. Today is January 21st, 2015. Also, you thought. But we have to realize that 580 years have been added to the timeline. Do the math. And go backwards in time. 2015 is in the future. In real life, that's a whole difference. But you will learn how to calculate and do all these things once you get a nationality, once you connect yourself to the government, because if you connect yourself to a government, then your government should be able to educate you about your government and what it means. Knowledge is power. There was not but one saying that went throughout all of ancient Egypt. There's no such place. But we're going to use that because that's what's on the books to throw you off one more time. Ancient Kemet. Man, know thyself. Now, in order to rule over you, what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to deal with a total denigration of you. We're going to have to totally remove the head, cut you off from all the greatness and magnificence and grandeur that you have used to rule this world for hundreds, thousands of years. We're going to have to remove that from the brain, cutting the entire head off. Then we're going to have to cut the whole tail off to disconnect you from your roots, which is the ancient story. What happened in the house next door? What happened in the house down the street that was connected to have the knowledge and all this right, a whole different ball game, from your age and culture. We got to keep you away from the fact that this land, everything on it, and everything in it belongs to you. This is your, I ain't going to cuss, stuff. This is yours. The oldest people on it is you. Everybody that came over here interacted with you. You was always here. But what we have to do is if we cut off the head, we cut off the tail, we can label as sardines. We can call them Negro, we can call them colored, we call them black, African American, all this. And as long as they go along with these brands, they cannot be respected. They cannot be viewed. They have to be dead people. And if we own them, they are our property. We own all Negro, colors, and blacks. So that means that they do anything they want to do to you. I don't care if you are Ricky Smiley. I don't care if you were Richard Pryor. I don't care if you were Jim Brown. I don't care if you were Walter Payton. I don't care if you were Barry Sanders. You have a problem. My question to you all is, what's your nationality? Where is your government? Everybody that's not suffering the fate that you're suffering on a massive scale has one. I don't look at TV, but I was fumbling around last night and looking, listening to a disc that I made and stuff, and didn't come out right and take it off. And but it just so happened that in between taking off stuff, I had to go to the TV and because I got the VCR, and I didn't want to be up in my office and then on the audio, and then I didn't want to come stereo. I just want to lay down in the bed, put this information in so I can dissect and make sure it's right and all that. But there was a story about Morocco and the people in Morocco. And it is Morocco that sold you into slavery. Get it right. Let's understand that. And so when you look at the people and what's going on over there in Morocco, we're like, well, oh my goodness, who are these people, first of all? And the woman better not say nothing over there. She better not act like she got an opinion. It's a mess. Yeah, take my word for it. Check it out. But anyway, I failed to equate 1 + 1 = 2. I failed over there. So I had to cut that off, and I found out that what I was doing wasn't right, so I had to redo it. And I haven't had time to recheck the new stuff, but I'm going to check it. And but this is what I wanted to say about race. There's a ton of more, but I think you got the picture. I think you got it. Nah. I think you got it. You don't need, I don't need nobody to recognize me as a Moor. My recognition is recognized with my government. I'm recognized with my government. That's all I need. That's what I need with my government. That's how that goes. And I'll do the rest because it's my government that educates me. I learn from them, and I get the power from them, and I learn. And if somebody in there needs something from me, then I get it. I give them what I need, what they need. Okay, that's the way they go. I give donations to my government. I interact with my government. I communicate with the officials of my government. My government know me, and I know my government. All somebody got to do is call my government and ask them, do you have a man associated with this government named Tarhaka, Tarhaka Bay, out of Florida? Everybody all the way across the board. Oh, yeah. He's the Minister of Education for the entire Eastern Seaboard. Do he need some help? What he need? What's going on? What's happening? What do you need? Something wrong? We'll come to town, you know. We're backing him up. But now you stand out in the rain, hail, sleet, and snow. You vote for your brother and my beloved brother and his family, Barack Obama. He is the President of the United States because you believe that the United States of America is a country and have a government. The United States of America is a corporation. But you believe that when you do all that, that a brother gonna help you. But it goes like this with a corporation. If you are Cuban in America and you need government support or corporate support for whatever agenda that you're trying to do, you're going to have to send some money to the government. And what the President of the United States will do is he will assist in solving your problem. If you are gay, we're going to talk about gay rights. If you are Puerto Rican, we're going to talk about Puerto Rican rights. If you're Hispanic, we got to help everybody make all the announcements about Hispanic rights. We got to get that solved. You see, but people of African descent that's classified as Negro, colors, and blacks without a nationality still operating under the brand, under the auspices that they are black. We voted for you. We're sitting back waiting on you to do something. Okay. You gave them no money. It's a corporation. So if you're going to finance anything, why don't you get your nationality and finance that? Get to know your government officials, communicate with them. They communicate with you. Get your nationality associated with them so your government can support you. Support your government. They can support you. You may not have a block, so y'all can get together and spend $200,000 or $300,000. But you might have like $25 or $30. I send that every month. Okay, and I'm gonna talk to them, and they talk to me, and I'm gonna ask some questions. I'm gonna communicate. Okay, that'll be fine. If all of us can do that with a nationality, that's progress. You'd be surprised what happened with the mortgage company. You'd be surprised at what happened with the police department. You'd be surprised at what happened with the court and everybody else. You gotta take my word for it. Try that. Do an investigation. Go over to MorrisAmericanGov.org and register with your government and communicate. Get the number, communicate with them, and get to know them and find out what other Moors that government is with you. But whatever you do, get a nationality. Stop being a sardine. There's no such thing as a Negro that can be respected. Even the Supreme Court has already said that the white man or the black man doesn't have any right that a white man is bound to respect. In other words, I do not care if you are a justice in the Supreme Court. I do not care if you're a Colin Powell. I do not care if you are Jay-Z. I do not care if you are Oprah Winfrey. I do not care if you are Michael Jackson. I do not care. I do not care. My question is, what is your nationality? Black man ain't got no rights. I ain't gonna have something with that. The Constitution, the what? Constitution? The men that wrote it had you enslaved when it was writing. What's wrong with you? I mean, if I'm wrong about any of this, what I would like for you to do is go ahead and call in. Now, I see we got a hand raised.
I'm going to start opening up the lines. Now it's time for you to call in. The number to dial into this broadcast is 310-982-4184. Come on in. Let's discuss it, man. I ain't mad with you. I ain't going to debate with you. Okay? Area code 716. You're live on the air. Are you with us? 716? Okay. No 716. Anyhow, we're going to take a quick break, and when I come back, we will go into the second phase, and the second phase is dealing with, let's see, gender. So you can
no more than a woman, let him. She won't make mistakes if she knows she'll regret them. A woman will stick by you through thick and thin. And with a woman like this, I know I got to win. I know the truth is, honey, I know the truth is. I know I got a sure thing. Listen to this. Me and my baby been together through all kind of weather. I don't care what happens, you're always together. When I see her talking to some fellow out on the street, when the conversation is over, she coming straight home to me. Yeah, I know the truth. Oh, yeah, I know the truth. I know the truth. I got a sure thing. I go to work in the morning with a satisfied mind. Don't have to worry about that woman I left behind. When I come home in the evening, my aching back she'll rub. Dinner's on the table and my water's in the tub. I know the truth. I know the truth. I know the truth. I know my baby. I got a shooting, my baby.
All right, Mose, we're back. Now, I'm going to deal with the final piece of this before we go into gender. When you start living your life as a man or a woman, life takes on a brand new meaning for you. You are on a mission. Your confidence is you. All you want to do is, because you're viewing everybody that you gotta save. You looking for, you run into a sister out there. You ain't trying to go to bed with her. You trying to lift her up. You want to hold her mind for a minute so you can help her. You ain't trying to beat your brother up. You ain't got time for no argument. You ain't got time to go up against the police. You want to get a hold of him so you can teach him something. You ain't got time to fight against the insurance man. You ain't got time because you ain't playing no more. And in my opinion, the only man and the only woman that can turn this thing around that's going awry on this planet is you. You're the only one that can do it. And the same thing the Prophet Nubu Ali say. You're the only one. The whole world waiting on you to wake up. You cannot be respected, viewed, and looked at and attended to if you ain't no man. And you can't be no man or no woman inside this land if you don't have a government. That's the bottom line. I know you've done a whole lot of magnificent stuff. We got to stop doing it as black people because there's no such people that can be respected. We got to get out the can. We got to put the tail back on and put the head back on. Now, you don't go reading everything that you can about your ancient black history, but then again, you do. But you don't omit studying other information from other cultures because, after all, they got it right and you don't. Okay? The first thing you got to do is get you right before you go out to save the world. Just like my mama used to tell me all the time, well, boy, before you go out in the street, have you made up that bed yet? Let's make up your own bed, and then we're ready to go out into the world. Okay? All right, we're going down into gender, and we're talking about the United States of America, and what we got to understand is that this apparatus that's going on across this country is a male-dominated situation. Male. Notice I ain't say man. That means I just happen to have something swinging between my legs. That don't mean I'm no man. Now, the powers that be are, man. They may look like a man if they butt naked, but they have different colors and all this stuff. But the whole system is a male-dominated system. It appears to me that somebody is masquerading and trying to be you. That's what it looks like. I'm going to force you to do what I tell you to do, and if you don't do it, I'm going to hurt you. That's not the mark of a man. A man doesn't do it that way. A man looks for every opportunity to solve a matter informally before committing any acts of violence. A man ain't going to sell no dope because he don't want to hurt nobody. That's a man. But what has happened is we have been led to believe that because somebody was big, stank, out of shape, peckerless, and have a whole lot of hair on his body, that he was a man. No, he wasn't. The only thing he was big, bloated, stank, peckerless, and had hair all over his body. That's all. That don't have nothing to do with you being a man or a woman. You got some sisters out there that think that I have to be over the top. I have to assert myself. I have to be the boss. I have to put on the pants. I have to do this right here and the other. And but when it goes like that, they get out of touch. If a man comes along, they're gonna have to try to forcefully undo everything that they have done to accommodate a man. They don't know how to have peace for a man. They believe that they should have peace with a man. No. We got to learn the difference between having peace for a man. And when I'm talking about a man, I'm talking about a real man. A man with a nationality, with a government, and with the accoutrements in his brain to know how to handle certain situations. Now, women are emotional. Men are practical. When something happens, she gets excited. Oh my God, but the man said, well, honey, let me hold it a minute. Let's deal with it. Let's calm down. Let's enjoy the rest of the evening. But we got this here. We got it as a team. Don't worry about it. I'll walk you through it, and
all this until we get it done, and that's okay. That's how a man does things, because a man, he specializes in having peace, because when he has peace, then he can think, he can plan, and all this. Now, the average real man doesn't like war. You don't like war. There are a lot of them that are good at it. Let's not get it twisted. He may not like war, but they ain't got nothing to do with scared. Peace. And this society is geared toward a male-dominated society. Male. This ain't say man. Male. That's something that you see, that you think is a man. Because I've had back in the day, I've had tell me, he big, he muscular, but that brain. If I could just if I could just deal with the brain part of it, and they have, I got to give it to y'all, sister. Y'all have tried everything under the sun. I'm going to send him back to school. I'm going to pay for it. I'm going to buy him a car. I'm going to put him in it. I'm going to put a hat on his head. I'm going to put shoes on him. I'm going to dress him up. I'm going to do everything I can to make the man that I want. But he still won't be the man. He doesn't know how to hold me and how to fold me. He's shaking over here. He's shaking over there. He in the NFL, he broke all of these records and stuff, but when he come home, he just ain't, I rush for more yards than he do in the house. It is amazing. And it all comes from a lack of power. Knowledge is power. The man has to get that right before he can make the transformation from boy to man. And the sisters have to do the same thing. In order for her to make the transformation from girl to woman, she cannot do it without power. Now, I am and keep in mind, I'm not throwing away the fact that we are subjugated people in the massive attack and all of that there. But all of these things was done against who? Colored, Negro, Black, African American. Now, when you get the nationality right, that doesn't mean that you going out, well, I have a nationality, so everything will change. No. You're going to have some power. The people on the other end of the stick, they're going to have to know that if we tamper with this particular man, there will be blood. Not that we're going to cause any or anything like that. What do you think? Let's take a look and see now. What would you think if the United States of America just say, well, look, we just going to start arresting Chinese people. We're going to start locking them up. We're going to do what we're going to do. We're going to kill some. We're going to torture them. We're going to do all of that. What do you think China will do? They're coming in. When Caucasians go over to other lands, back in the day, and somebody abduct, kidnap, and do something with it, what did the United States do? They're not putting ships out on the coast and the airplane flying over and all the rest of that. Hey, man, you're messing with a man. He's a man because we said he was. We got his back. That's the way it goes. That's the rules of the game. So, therefore, this is a male-dominated society. It has to do with gender. We deal with race, and then we dealing with gender. Okay?
Now, if there's anybody got any questions, now the time to raise your hand. The lines are open. 310-982-4184. If you have something to add, now is the time. Okay, I'm going to go into a commercial. Y'all hold on a minute.
If you live in the Dallas area, you already know it's cold outside, and you just arrived home after a very long day and have no desire or idea about what to prepare for dinner. Well, it's Auntie's Home Cooking and Catering to the rescue. Let us deliver a tasty and delicious dinner to your doorstep, prepared with fresh and wholesome ingredients and love that will bring you back time and time again. Our Southern-style menu is sure to put a smile on every face at the dinner table. So what are you waiting for? Go to our website to request service at www.auntieshomecookingandcatering.com or call Sharon Hunter or Felicia Camara at 469-206-6523. Again, that's 469-206-6523, and let us do the cooking for you.
Okay, we're back. I hope we got this thing about the society, because this is the way it goes across the board. I want you to understand this, especially you sisters. The society is a male-dominated society. But we're not talking about, I didn't say a man-dominated society. I say a male-dominated society. Male. Even though we know, or we think we know, what's going on. But I mean, just think about it for a minute. I just want to talk to the sisters for a moment. Think about it, sisters. You know something is wrong. You gotta know something is wrong. When football come on, and your male that you call your man, he don't want to see you. He don't want to talk to you. You in front of the TV. You know, I ain't finna do this. I ain't finna do that. I ain't finna, you cannot get my attention. I don't want to hear none of that. The game finna come on. Bring me something to drink. Bring me some popcorn. And after the game go on and they kick the ball off, the man catch the ball, and the man start running and start breaking tackles and get the going toward the goal line. He jump up out of his seat and go to hooping and hollering about another man. Now it's time for you to get suspect, sister. Now, fellas, I don't mean no harm now. Don't y'all get mad with me. I'm just, y'all be doing it. I ain't. I'm just, anytime you see your man jump up and get the hoop and holler about another man going somewhere, something wrong. I don't care what they say to you about what happened in Rome. The only thing that a man need to be concerned about is counting the gross receipts of the NFL, or how he can invest in and own a piece of the NFL. He can come in and play the role all he wants as long as he get paid. But if you sitting there in your living room, you broke, you know the lights need to be paid, the rent man asking for his money, but you hooping and hollering over game and you ain't got no money, and you shouting for another man to run the ball so you might can make $30 that you bet on something wrong, man. Something wrong. This thing goes all the way up to the top, all the way down to the bottom. Now, this is some nitty-gritty information, and I know right along and now the brothers is mad with Brother Tarhaka.
Brother Tarhaka, you ain't had no right to say that. But, brother, I had to disagree with you because I got some beautiful TVs in the house, but they'll never come on. I'm going to have to go in here and dust some of them off. I don't care nothing about the Super Bowl. I only care about how much money I'm going to make when it come on. After I make me $10,000, $15,000, $20,000, then I can get excited about somebody running somewhere. I can afford to. If my woman want my attention, she got it all day long. I come back later because we can always go back and play the reruns and all that, Yeah. But anyway, male-dominated society, and we like games. We like football. We like baseball. We like basketball. Oh, man, basketball. Woo! We knock the popcorn over. We turn over the table. The sofa come over. We talk, shout louder than you hear us all year long. We argue with somebody who said that he was cheating and it didn't happen that way. We have all this kind of mess going on. And the sisters, y'all looking at the brothers and all this good stuff. And but we chalk it off as saying that okay, that's the way it's supposed to be. Well, in my opinion, my question to you is, how long is it that's the way it's supposed to be? Gonna go on. Start doing something different. That's my question. Playtime is over. It's time to get down to business. It ain't no joke. Okay. Right? Of course. Game. Now, you can't come around here and talk to me about that right there because I'm down here in the pit and me and the boys going to put the engine in This is a male situation. Poor sister. But anyway, I'm just trying to put some stuff out there that's brand new for you to look at and pay attention to. Because if it was me, what I would do is, I ain't got no money. So what I would do, I'd go and buy me a rack full of peanuts, some parched peanuts, a rack full of boiled peanuts, and I get a little space on the sidewalk so when the people who have parked their car can walk by and buy some of my peanuts. And then if you do that, then I feel like I can afford to watch the game. Because the man that's running up and down the field, he's a millionaire. But he got a man jumping up and down in the stadium and in his house, and he ain't got a pot to piss in, a nickel to pay Paul. Something wrong with that equation. I hope y'all getting this. I mean, don't be mad with me. I'm just telling you about the reality of the situation. Think about it, brother. I mean, there's a whole lot of space out there outside the stadium before the game come on. Get up out there, man. You can get your electric generator, put your TV out there, man. You can watch the game, watch the play, but get paid for a start. Get paid after it's over. Okay. If you got a millionaire running up and down the field and you jumping and shouting and hooping and hollering about another man, your wife don't have no choice but to be suspect about you. Because when you go home, you say, baby, look here, we going over to McDonald's and stuff. You got a couple of dollars? Man, I done spent all my money at the game and stuff, on the millionaire man. Amazing. I just want to bring that out there and stuff. I know y'all gonna be mad with me tomorrow. I know ain't none brother gonna call me tomorrow. He gonna say that doggone Tarhaka. When I see him, I'm we cannot move forward until we lay all the cards on the table. Right? We lay out there, and it goes the other way, brother. You know how we do. When our sister come out the back room with a dress on too tight, tell me she going to the store. Well, wait a minute, where you going? Why you gonna get mad with her? You just got through hollering at another man. What's wrong with you, man? We got to straighten all this out, man. We got to straighten it out, brother. I love y'all. Hold on a minute.
I've got sunshine on a cloudy day. When it's cold outside, I've got the month of May. I guess you say, what can make me feel this way? My girl, talking about my girl. I've got so much honey, the bees envy me. I've got a sweeter song than the birds in the trees. Well, I guess you say, what can make me feel this way? My girl, talking about my girl. Hey, hey, hey. Hey, hey, hey. Ooh, yeah. I don't need no money, fortune or fame. I've got all the riches, baby, one man can claim. Well, I guess you say, what can make me feel this way? My girl, talking about my girl, talking about my girl. I've got sunshine on a cloudy day with my girl. I've even got the month of May with my girl. Talking about my girl. Ooh, my girl. That's all I can talk about is my girl. Why don't you believe she's all my girl?
Okay, Moses, we're back. Now, we're going in and we're still under the gender section. We're dealing with the truth about the birth certificate. Okay, let's look at that in real life. All right. First way we're going to do this, we're going to look at it as a Negro, colored, or black. Okay, let's see how it went. All right. So your mother goes to the hospital. She has the baby. The doctor gives her a birth certificate, which is a receipt clearly showing that they have serviced your mother and they got the job done. You came into the world, so they give a receipt because they're expecting her to pay for the delivery of the child. It's a business. Now, if you don't believe it's a business, all you got to do is go there with your arm hanging off that you got shot with. Before they even admit you, the first thing you got to do is sign up. I don't care if they roll you in on the stretcher. The nurse is supposed to follow you with the paperwork. you sign something. And everything in America operates on contract. Okay, everything is about a contract. Contract law. You can't get married according to the United States of America without a contract. You can't open up a light bill to have lights turned on in the house without signing something. You can't get a house and stuff unless you sign something, unless you get it from a relative or something that just gave you something and they insist enough to have you sign something. But everything operates on contract. European policemen stop you on the street. I need to see registration and driver's license, and you don't give them none of that. Well, I got to write a ticket. If you were speeding, I write your ticket. And I need you to sign this, and I'm going to give you a piece of paper. Contract, everything. Contract. Okay. And this is how the mail put this thing together. The birth certificate. Negro, colored, black, white, Hispanic, everybody. Same thing. Contract. We're going to give you, you're born over here, we got to give you this contract. All right. Now, what is interesting is the fact that we haven't understood that the only thing that a corporation can do business with is another corporation. So we have to look up the definition of the word corporation. We'll start with the first few letters. Corpse. Dead. Let's go to the cemetery, y'all. We get out there to look at it. All the gravestones. All the gravestones is all capital letters. After she leaves the hospital with you, she's wonderful. You're wonderful. You're cute. You're cuddly. Everybody love you. All the women in the family and all the aunts and aunties and everybody kneeling downside the bed, and you laying in the bed, and a man coming there and said, "Well, what y'all doing?" Well, we waiting on him to wake up. Everybody wants to be the first wake up, and all this business. So there's plenty of room for him to get good and spoiled and rotten right there. Lord have mercy, don't let it be a boy. Ooh, Lord have mercy. It becomes international. And brothers, get out the way, because sister, we got this until he start growing up and getting stank. Well, y'all need to come get him, because we done drained all the love out of him. But it's amazing how this thing goes. Now, anything that the other mother, other father, from then on out, even before the child is born, it's all capital letters, because the mother and the father and the child is dead to society. Because the only thing that the corporation can deal with is a corpse, is a fiction. Now, your question is, or should be, who has the body? Okay, because see, when somebody dies in your family, the question will arise between relatives, because everybody is concerned. Everybody is trying to find out when the funeral is going to be and all the rest of that. Who got the body? Because we want to know who got the body, and to make sure that you ain't took them over there to Johnson & Johnson's funeral home, because they done some bad work on Auntie. I need to know who got the body. Well, it wasn't Johnson. Okay, because I was just checking to make sure you ain't took it over there. Well, who got the body? Well, the body is over at Martin & Martin funeral. Oh, yes, they do good work. Okay, all right. Well, yeah. Okay, that's all right. We gonna go along with that. But what we have to understand is that when the child is born and the mother is given the life certificate of birth, it does not matter whether the child is listed in upper and lowercase letters or whether the child is listed in all capital letters, because from then on out, all through the child's life, every interaction that the child have in his life, and any paperwork is done, any bills come in, or anything the child has listed, as dead. So, in my opinion, I think it's up to the parents to have the body. If they don't have the body, when the child comes into the knowledge of self, the child needs to have the body. The United States of America and Supreme Court had ruled in the Dred Scott case that before they even started the case, that the court has no jurisdiction over a man and his property. If your child is dead and you got to bury your child, that child is your property. If your child has something going on with the courts, the police, property, that's your property. And you know it's your property because if the child is in the jail or the courts or wherever they are, they're already listed as a corpse. Right? Now, capital letters. All you got to do is look at all of it that comes down. So you, if the court has no jurisdiction, you have to demand the release of your property. If we get that part down and understanding that, that takes on a whole new paradigm right there in itself. Personal property. Now, we got to get rid of words because it's a word game. It's called legalese. We got to get rid of the word child. We got to get rid of the word son. We got to get rid of the word daughter. We got to get rid of the word children, child. We got to get rid of that. We are talking about our personal property because this is a game in commerce. It's all in commerce. Everything operates in commerce, on contract. Contract. The problem is that we have not understood that everything operates under a continuous series of contracts, but the corporations cannot, by law, interfere with your right to make contracts. See, so far, all the bricks been coming through your window. You got to start throwing some bricks the other way. And it had a long time, hundreds of years. Contract. All of it. And what's amazing is, actually, they got it and they learn how to do it from you. But remember, your head been cut off and your tail been cut off, so you don't forget. But anyway, the birth certificate. Now, if that's the case, and I'm black, Negro, and colored, and African American, and Afro American, and all that, I need to get permission from master. We need to get my birth certificate authenticated, get all that done, stuff like that. Because if I'm black and I'm Negro, I'm colored, I'm somebody's property. I don't care how far you stick your chest at, how you hold your head. Unless you come to the playing field with at least 50 mad niggas with guns and put them in all 50 states. And they got to have sniper rifles and they got to be professionals. That's the only way you're going to do it. Other than that, we don't want that kind of thing. So what I recommend that you do is connect to your nationality. You know how to do all that because at that point you're no longer black, you're not a Negro, you ain't colored, you ain't a Christian, you ain't a Baptist, you ain't none of that. You are a man and you are a woman. You don't need nobody to try to tell you that you are. You are, and you interact with your government and you act like it. Because you carry all the accoutrements of a man and you do everything that a man's supposed to do. Now, I'm not saying that it's easy. We're going to have to practice until you get it right. And when you get it right, then you can do some things. Okay? Now, my nationality is Moorish American. I'm a man. And personally speaking, I do have a birth certificate, Now, that's my personal property. I'm able to maneuver and all that, do all that with that. And we can talk about that in person. We can talk about it over the phone or whatever. But I'm not trying to get anybody to recognize me as a man. I am one. I act like one. I do everything that a man's supposed to do. A man is supposed to contribute to the uplifting of fallen humanity. He have to look out for the women. He have to look out for the children. He had to look out for the elderly. He had to look out for the homeless. He has to look out for the widow, and so on and so forth. That's his job. And I mean, he if he is finding himself overwhelmed, what he has to do is make sure that he manufactures some more man. He has to make sure he has some more man. Now, so far we've been talking about the man, but now the man functions better and things go much, much smoother and the way it's supposed to go as a group. You need a group. Everything is done by the group. You have a man and you have a woman. All right. That's more than one. That's a group. Man. All that. Okay? All right. Now, the birth certificate and the title that's on the birth certificate, if the man has a nationality, right, he's given his name where it's supposed to be and stuff, because he's the only one who can name himself outside of God. The parents did a good job, but they smoked them at the hospital, so, they tried to, give him a name which belongs to Miles of them. So we had to get rid of that, and then he had to get his title that's connected to his culture and his ancient story, and connected to his government and stuff. Now he's ready to mature into manhood, provided he's going on and putting the right knowledge and stuff inside the brain. Okay. Now the what's listed on the certificate of live birth or birth certificate is personal property. He don't need to jump through no hoops by nothing. All you need to do is sit back and hope somebody messes it up and violates it. Then you go to work about it. That's where that goes. Now, trust versus contract law. Let's get down in there, because I want you to understand, because a lot of people, everybody say, well, trust, but the foundation of trust, what you got to understand is contract, right? So the first thing that we got to understand is contract law. If we can understand contract law and man and woman and how that goes, and we put that together, then we can successfully deal more effectively with trust. We got to stop with the trust knowledge right here as Negro, colors, and black people. Stop it. Come on, man. It's just one more step. Let's just sidestep there. Let's do this a different type of way. An organization is not a government. A club is not a government. A corporation is not a government. Now, I'm a citizen of the Moorish American government. My government have my back. And as a result of that, I support my government as a citizen. I'm not trying to go out in the street and hurt nobody. I ain't trying to go out there and shoot nobody. I really no hell in it. I am in the government. No, we don't do none of that. A man does not operate that way. He don't do nothing like that. Not a man. A man has certain characteristics. Even Al Capone. When you were robbing, stealing, when he created his little government and lived in a hotel, you had to go through over 200 men with machine guns and 45s and everything else just to get to him. That was in the government. But in the early days, Capone, he go to a store. He said, "Look, you got this business here, and you need protection. So what I'm gonna do is we're gonna provide protection from you, and as a result of that, I need you to give me 75% of what you make, and we'll go ahead and protect you." And the people in there, they say, "Well, I'm not giving you this. This is my business. I'm not giving you. I don't care. You're a gangster. You're a thug. I'm not giving you anything." And the only thing that Capone said was, "Is that the way you feel about it?" He said, "You're damn right. That's how I feel about it." No. And he turned around and walked out. The next day, the entire building blew up. But the key is, he didn't get excited about anything, because a man doesn't get excited about it. Anyway, moving right along, we're going on down into man, government, and land. Now, we clearly understand the accoutrements of a man. Government. Already told you what that is. Let's deal with land. Now, the way the land plays into with government and man is man and government has to be associated with a landmass. And it just so happened, remember I told you that there is no such thing as colored people. There never was. There was never any such thing as black people. There was never any such thing as Negroes. There was never any such thing as African Americans, and there certainly was never anything called African American. It never existed. But yet, we assume, we communicated, we've done all these things, and we wonder why this thing is happening. Let's get the accoutrements of government, and let's support the government, and stop going to Walmart. If you go into Walmart and spend $100, take $100, send it to your government. After you send it to your government, call them and say, "Look, bro, I'll send it to your government. I need to know certain things. Y'all talk to me. Let's communicate with one another. I'm down here, such a thing." Because if your government is strong, then you got some power. If you make sure that your government have everything that they need to function and have your back, they got your back. Got to go to court? Call your government. Give me 3, or give me 5, or give me 10. All right. We got 10 officials. 10 men from the cabinet, but we don't go into the local courts and none, into the Happy Jack box and none of that right there. We're going all the way to the international court. We're going to the international coast of trade, the world coast or whatever. This is how we do it. That's how the government functions. Whole different ball game. Because we ain't talking about nothing but a man and a woman and a government. Now it's a different ball game. Different. If you're gonna exercise some power, exercise some real power. But what you want to do is you want to become a master within your own right, and then if you got that, then your government can take you the rest of the way. They got respect for you because your eyes are open and not closed. You're doing what a man is supposed to do. And you ain't imitating Al Capone unless you absolutely have. The next thing is, do you own what you steal? The answer is no. The people that came into this land uninvited and began to murder, maim, and rob, and lynch, and steal, and kill, they do not own the land. The people they say is a native of the land don't mean nothing, because the rightful owner of the land is still here, always have been here. Prior to anybody else they lied about, supposed to be a native, is here. Okay, we got to get that part right. How much food should a man eat? A man should eat no more than a fistful of food. Now, we got to get down in this one here, because this one right here, we got to get this straight out. We got to get it straightened out. because every time you cook something and it reaches a temperature of 118 degrees Fahrenheit and you put it in your mouth, all the vitamins and nutrients is dead. Dead food, dead body. And so therefore, everything in the majority of what you put in your mouth or what you want to put in there should be live. Live fruits, live vegetables, nuts, berries, legumes, beans. Live. You want to do that in the beginning. If you do that early enough, then if there's anybody who can afford to eat some garbage, it's you. Because, see, what we have to understand is everything in the food industry is predicated today about taste, not nutrition. They got some new shows on TV, what is it, Dr. Bob and and Dr. Oz and all these guys and all this kind of stuff here showing up. All that's great. But in my opinion, provided you grow it for yourself. Okay. And the grocery store and all that is out. And if you put raw fruits and vegetables, especially if you turn it into a liquid form, it feeds the cells and the body is alive. You slow down the aging process, and if you do it long enough, you will send it into reverse. Live food, live body. Cooked food, processed food, food in a bag, food in a box, food at McDonald's, all that. Cooked, processed, dead food, dead body. That's how it goes. And some of our most magnificent scholars and people that have the black attached to them have been doing this. As a result, they are dead. Okay, so and everything, of course, once you go to the cemetery, you got the everything that you had all to your life, it's all in all capital letters, and then you finally reach the final place in the cemetery, and then they put the gravestone there, and it's all capital letters too. So you went from the cradle to the grave, and you were dead from beginning to end. Let's live sometime, y'all. Let's live a little bit. All cancers can be eliminated if you just start with the food and just concentrate on put purified water in the body. Cancerous cells got to go because they do not have anything to eat on to fuel the cancer. And it's fueled, they eat on what's dead or what's cooked or what's processed. Dead food, dead body. The live cells, they are fueled by oxygen. They are fueled by hydrogen. They are fueled by what's live. So when if the doctor told you, oh, you got cancer, you got terminal cancer, because they're in the money making business. You can't blame them. They got to keep that yacht, got to keep that big. They ain't talking about healing nobody. It's a money business. It's all about money. Well, your diabetes, we're going to prescribe this right here. Yeah, you prescribe something, I got to pay for it. That's how you keep your job. It's about the dollar bill. It ain't got nothing to do with you because you are responsible for your life and your brain and your knowledge and your government. You are responsible for that. That's your responsibility when you become of age and you get into the knowledge of self and you walk out that door and you know that you got to go out, you got to come back home. If somebody starts shooting out there, you got to start dodging the bullets until you get back to the house. You know how it go. So you're responsible for the subtle attacks too. What you put in the body. Live food, live body. Dead food, cooked food, processed food, dead body. 29 years old, 31, 32, you can't get it up because there's so much garbage in the arteries that lead to the head of the phallus that it can't come up. You got to get rid of that. You got to clean it up. When you get in your 70s and 80s and 90s, everything around your house still need to be standing up. You don't need to be trying to tolerate you. You need to be happy about you. Another man in the street trying to talk to her. She said, "Oh no, baby, I got to get to the high." so that's how that goes. Anyway, I just want to put it out because that's a part of the power that a man is supposed to have. Is there a drug policy in America? Now, we've already covered that. The answer is no. If there's no drug policy in America, is there a prison policy in America? Of course it is. So what I would recommend that you do is go and listen to the previous broadcast that I done and listen to Barbara Sizemore. She's going to tell you how it goes, and she's right. It goes exactly like that. You know, at the top, you got people that's growing the marijuana. You got people that's in the giant laboratories, and 98% of the people that's of the drugs that's being purchased and ingested is Caucasian people. But all the people that's going to jail and filling up the prison is the poor people. So now we're finna go into segment about wealth. We got to understand that this thing is a male-dominated situation of rich and super rich. And everybody below the totem pole, be you black, white, Mexican, Puerto Rican, Cuban, all of us is being placed in the same boat. When they blew up the World Trade Center, did they care about the fact that white people were being killed? No. Why? Because they were poor folks. Did they care anything about the Vietnam and how many black people and how many white people went in there and how many Vietnamese that were killed, how many white folks that were killed in the Great Wall that they put up all the dead folks in there? No. All of them players were poor folks. We have to understand how the game goes. We got the rich and the super rich. They don't care about nobody below the line. It doesn't matter what your nationality is. It doesn't matter whether you black. It doesn't matter whether you white. It doesn't matter whether you Cuban. It doesn't matter whether you Puerto Rican. It doesn't matter about none of it. If you are not a member of our clique, you have not been inducted into the rich and the super rich. We don't care. We don't care. And I wanted to bring this information to you to give you a breakdown on the game and how the world game goes so you have a better perspective. They don't care nothing about you being the chief of police. How much money you got? How close can you come to Bill Gates? I don't care nothing about you being a lieutenant. I don't care nothing about you being the mayor. I don't care nothing about you being the governor. I don't care nothing about that. We'll smoke you too. So what I'm trying to get you to do is not only look at what's going on inside the United States, but just take a look at the whole map. Take a look at how this game is being played out all the way across the board, all the way around the rock. Yes, all these things that are in place about the global system of white supremacy, that's all in place, and economics and all of that. But you got to understand that these people here, you know, the Rockefellers care about the Rockefellers. The DuPonts care about the DuPonts. The Gettys care about the Gettys. And on and on and on and on and on. It's the same regime. They've been in power for a long time. But one thing that we have to our advantage is the fact that it is more of us than it is of them. All we got to do
is wake up to the game. Y'all hold on. We're going to a quick commercial, and I'll be right back, okay? Y'all hold on. We are where we are in this life because of the actions we have or have not taken. You don't wait until war break out to start making ammunition. You make your ammunition in peacetime. Look up the word mortgage in Black's Law Dictionary. You will find the word lien. Now ask yourself a question. Do you need a lien? How can you say I'm being blessed? I just got a lien. Come on, man. Let's use a little common sense here, and let's start freeing up some capital for investment. Let's examine these things. Let's get all the information on it. Go to www.newdebtelimination.com. Contact me, Tarhaka Amana Elbe, 904-303-9061 before 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Let's go to work on this thing. Let's make the ammunition now. All right. Now, if anybody got a comment or question, now's the time to raise your hand, 310-982-4184. Keep in mind that we will be in Atlanta in August. Whew. Now, I've been in Georgia when I was a child. And to me, in Georgia, in August, it's hot. So, yeah, I want to make sure you understand this before we get down up in there, and because that's where we're going to be at in August. And so make sure you make your way down. Me and the brothers, we're going to be getting on and putting this information out so that y'all can join us down there in August for the Morris Summer 2015. And we'll have all of us down there. You'll be able to come in and meet with a lot of the people that you have listened to on your blog talk shows and interacted with, because it's going to be a gas. I'm definitely going to be there, and you're going to. I'll get a chance to interact with you and see you, and I look forward to that. Y'all gonna have to remind me of who you are and all that, because I talk to so many people across the country, but I'm looking forward to seeing the people that I've been working with and trying to help and been interacting with and all this right here, because I really love you. And in my opinion, my people come first, and everybody else come second. All of y'all are not Moors. A lot of us are Negro, colors, and black, but that's all right. You still my people. I'm gonna work with you till you get it right. And when you get it right, then you're gonna be all right. So I'd rather die trying to do that than to have never done anything at all and sitting back and waiting on somebody else to do something. I'm not that type. I've always learned that, anybody moving, you go ahead and move. So that's the way we do it here. There is a prison policy in America because of the system of race, gender, and wealth. That is why it exists. And it's all about making a profit. And these people, they don't have any connection to the planet. They don't care about the air. They don't care about the water. They don't care about the earth. They may even believe that they do, but in actuality, their actions say something totally different. Everybody that's born into this rock got a chance. You got a chance. You should have a chance in doing something to change your circumstances or to live a better life. That's the way I see it. And I believe that the world can be a better place if everybody get clear and concise understanding of what's going on. Because I think the problem is everybody don't know what's going on.
I think that's the problem. We need to know what's going on. For instance, we're under the impression that during World War II, they brought the German scientists and stuff over here after they hatched the tale about they killed Hitler, and we're going to bring all of Hitler's top scientists and botanists and herbologists and all of these people over here to help America be better. But in my opinion, they make a mistake because these people had Third Reich still in their mind. You know, as long as they, you come over here into a foreign land, the first thing I got to do is try to find out where Willie at and where Richard at. Because these are the only people I know. I got to communicate with them and all this stuff you talking about. Man, you ain't finna bring me over into this land and just all of a sudden I'm finna fall in love with you. I don't speak your language. I don't believe in your values. And at the same time, you already born my country. I ain't got no love for you. I need to know where Richard at so I can talk to Richard. When I talk to Richard, Richard got to tell me where Marvin at. And Marvin got to tell me where Willie at. And Willie got to tell me where James at. And so on and so forth. That's what happened. In real life. They wanted the president, well, we getting this. Oh, yeah, well, get it right here. I'll give you anything you want. You tell me where Richard at. I'll give you anything you want. You tell me where Marvin at. Because if you think that because you brought me over here, that the Third Reich has left my brain, you got another thing coming. I just need to know where Robert and Richard and James at. Where at? So I can talk to them, because I can talk to them in my native language. I can talk to them about other stuff and stuff that we're working on stuff and what we're going to do next about you. So we certainly got to smoke you based on what you did. You were stupid. You thought. Amazing, man. This is amazing. Looking at this situation, matter of fact, let me run a little bit. Let me run a little bit of it. Just hold on.
Welcome back to Coast AM. I am Jimmy Church, host of Fade to Black on the Dark Matter Radio Network. Coming up, more with Peter Levenda. The book is called The Hitler Legacy, the Nazi Cult in Diaspora, how it was organized, how it was funded, and why it remains a threat to global security in the age of terrorism. We have tied 1947, the origination of ufology, and Kenneth Arnold all the way through to the Apollo space program. How do we connect those dots? You do it on late night, overnight AM talk radio. Right here on Coast to Coast AM. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. I'll be back more with Peter Levenda right after this. Stay with us. Hi, welcome back to Coast AM. This is Late Night Talk Radio. We're going on a journey tonight with Peter Levenda. Peter, are you still with us?
Sure am.
Okay, let's get into the new book and let's start to tie in all of this and come into the fourth quarter of this yarn. It is a crazy story, and it is spanning now, over 70 years?
Yep, exactly.
Okay. Now, the book is called The Hitler Legacy. It was released yesterday, and in the grand scheme of things, when we're starting to tie everything together, not only with Nazism, but its ties to global terrorism today, that is, it's on the front of everybody right now as far as our minds go, with ISIS, with Indonesia, Australia, Bali. It seems to be everywhere, and it is the common thread, the Nazi Party.
Well, yes, it is. I managed to speak with, to see up close and personal, the man in Indonesia who was responsible for the Bali bombing, the man who orchestrated it all. He was the co-founder of something called Jama'ah Islamiyah, which is the Al-Qaeda affiliate in Southeast Asia. And I listened to him talk about his rationale for the Bali bombings and for the other things that his group was involved with. And it was straight out of the Nazi playbook. He was talking about a global, a worldwide Jewish conspiracy, et cetera, going on to this the conspiracy of Jews and Freemasons and everything, which was straight out of what was, current philosophy in the Nazi Party back in the 1920s and 1930s, and of course during the war. And I'm looking at this guy in a country, in Indonesia. I was at his, what they call a pesantren, which is a kind of a boarding school, an Islamic boarding school. I'm listening to this guy talk, and I'm thinking to myself, there are not 10 Jews in the entire country of Indonesia. What are you talking about a global Jewish conspiracy for in a country that has no Jews? They only have enough Jews even for a minyan to have a service. There's one remaining synagogue, and it's empty. But it didn't matter. This guy was talking like he was in the 1930s in Germany. This philosophy, this ideology, permeated the thinking of these so-called jihadist groups all over the place. This is not an isolated thing. This is not something that comes naturally out of Islam, out of the religion, out of the culture. This is something that was adopted back in the 20th century. And it was adopted from first the Kaiser's Germany and then Nazi Germany. And this is something that they've adopted as part of an ideology which is, quite frankly, a mixture of Western ideas mixed with local cultural concepts about their own religion. So what we're dealing with is that. We're dealing with this strange amalgamation of Nazi ideology and, in the beginning, Nazi money, Nazi financing, Nazi expertise. You asked me before, did we need the paperclip scientists? Well, we didn't. We developed the atomic bomb on our own. We have the technology to do all of this on our own. But we didn't want the Russians to have the Nazi scientists because then the Russians would get the jump on us, which they did anyway. We brought the Nazi scientists to the United States thinking they would help us. Excuse me, but it was impossible. They were never going to help us. We were naive. We thought it was like two kids fighting in a schoolyard. They beat each other up and they shake hands, they're best of friends for the rest of their life. That's what we thought. We beat the Germans fair and square, in the war. All is forgiven. Now you're on our side. Now you're working for us. That never happened. The Nazis did not give up. The cult did not suddenly go away. Christianity was under the gun for 300 years, 350 years. It was proscribed by every government on earth. And yet it survived in the catacombs, it survived in cemeteries, and then became a state religion 350 years after the crucifixion of Jesus, right? So why would the Nazi Party, which was a cult just like that, a well-financed cult with an observable ideology, why would it suddenly give up because they lost the war? They didn't. They just moved the theater of operations. They moved the war to the Middle East. They started building rockets for Nasser. They moved it to America. They moved it to South America. They moved it to Asia, to Australia. They moved their theater of operations all around the world.
It is a case of, and you just touched upon it, but it is a case of they lost the battle, being World War II, but they actually now, today, it seems like they have won or are winning the war.
Well, they got what they wanted.
Yes.
The Soviet Union fell. The United States is now under terrific attack from all sorts of places.
Exactly.
And what's the strongest country in Europe right now?
Germany.
Germany became reunified. It now practically runs the European Union. It's the most powerful country in Europe. Everything is going the way they wanted it.
What is the classic definition of Nazi cult?
Well, I don't know about a classic definition because I'm sort of the one who coined it. The Nazi cult itself is a combination of things. What we call social Darwinism. We often underestimate the effect that Darwin's theories had, not just on science but on religion. Darwin challenged religion tremendously by insisting that there was evolution had taken place over millions and millions of years. The idea of Darwinism was embraced not by religious people, but by cultists. It was embraced by the Theosophical Society, by Madame Blavatsky, who founded the Theosophical Society back in 1875 in New York City, coincidentally. This idea that mankind is perfectible. You can improve mankind. Mankind is evolving towards a higher spiritual state. But in order to do that, we have to get rid of these elements that are holding us back. Sort of like animal husbandry. We have to weed out those factors, those genetic components which are inferior, so we can more quickly become perfect. So this is the idea that Darwin believed in evolution having a gradual rate of change over millions of years, but the social Darwinists said, well, we don't have to wait. We're human beings. We know what's taking place. Let's tinker with this and make it happen. The Nazis were social Darwinists. They believe that we can physically intervene in evolution. And that's an old, ancient, esoteric concept that people are progressing along a path of initiation to greater and greater levels of awareness. And this is part of what the Nazi cult is all about. It's anti-Christian. Of course, it's anti-Semitic. We all know that. It's a religious philosophy. It was designed to replace Christianity. If you were a member of the SS, for instance, you could not refer to Christmas and Easter in any official publication. Those holidays had ceased to exist. Baptism was out. There was a pagan ceremony that would replace it. There's photographs of that. There's photographs of Nazi wedding ceremonies, which are pagan ceremonies, essentially. The Nazi cult was designed to go back to a golden age when the only people in Germany were Germans. There was nothing else screwing with the blood. And the Nazis understood this to be a religious thing, a spiritual matter, very much so. So much so that if a SS man slept with a Jewish woman, he was considered to be spiritually polluted. He would be kicked out of the SS because now his blood was no longer pure. His soul had been polluted in some way. These are the concepts that are behind the Nazi cult. And at the head of the Nazi cult is Hitler. Hitler was the Messiah, the occult Messiah, the avatar. In India, they saw him as an avatar. The swastika, the symbol of Nazism, is an ancient Asian symbol. And when Hitler used that symbol as a symbol of his party, the people in India, many of them nationalists, saw Hitler as being on their side, as being the representative of a Hindu deity, of an Indian god. I mean, this is what was going on. We had a guy in Chile called Miguel Serrano, who had been an ambassador of Chile to India, to Austria, to places around the world, to Yugoslavia. He was a friend of the Dalai Lama, and he was a person who said that, Hitler was a great spiritual being. He held a funeral service for Nazis in Chile, the ones who had escaped to South America, who lived and died in Chile, including Walter Rauff, the man who invented the gas chambers, the mobile gas vans, lived out his days peacefully in Chile, and Miguel Serrano had the funeral service for this guy. This is what I mean about the cult. This is something which is totally alien in its sensitivity and its sensibilities to anything that we know.
Is there any, Peter, it seems like they've infiltrated or are involved with or mixed up in major organizations here in the United States, terrorist organizations around the world, and it's one of our greatest fears, the unseen thing, the thing that you can't control, and it's secret, and there's nothing you can do. Is there any borders? Is there any countries right now that are not affected?
Oh, you'd be hard-pressed to find one. People don't realize, for instance, that there was a craze in this country in the 1960s and 70s over Japanese Zen Buddhism, as an example. Zen was everywhere. We had Alan Watts talking about Zen. Zen was the flavor of the week where spirituality was concerned.
That's right. And,
of course, the major figure in that was a guy called Suzuki, D.T. Suzuki. He was the sort of godfather of modern Zen studies. D.T. Suzuki was a Nazi. Now, I'm saying this to people, they're going to be shocked, and they're going to say, well, how do you say that? D.T. Suzuki, in his writings, showed a particular fondness for Germany, for the Nazi Party. He was an apologist for what the Japanese army was doing in China, slaughtering all the civilians. And he was a close friend of a guy called Durkheim. Durkheim was the head of the Gestapo in Japan during World War II. He was arrested by the Allies for a while. Durkheim then came back to the West and became another proponent of Zen Buddhism. The connections are so bizarre, the deeper that you dig, that you find that this philosophy was so attractive to so many people all around the world. In South America, in Africa, in the Middle East, there's this worship of the Nazi Party. You can get copies of Mein Kampf translated into almost any language anywhere. I've been to a lot of countries doing this research, and I find local copies of Mein Kampf and of Henry Ford's book, The International Jew, translated into languages you probably never even heard of. And there's a cult aspect to this thing, and people are embracing it in different parts of the world. They're seeing that maybe Hitler had the right idea. You hear that a lot of times, or Hitler was a genius. Hitler was, way ahead of his time. You hear all of this around the world. It's a very frightening thing.
With Odessa and the way that it did, just creep and eventually become global, how long did it take to get into Asia? And did it get into Asia around Japan? Not necessarily through Japan and the Axis stuff that was going on in World War II. How did the infiltration happen throughout Asia?
Well, the very interesting story about that, as a matter of fact, something which I revealed probably for the first time in my book Ratline, and I talk about it again in Hitler Legacy. There was a man who was a very close personal friend of Adolf Hitler. His name was Walter Havel. Walter Havel was a very young man during the Beer Hall Putsch. This was when Hitler tried to take over Germany in 1923, an attempt that had failed. Havel had marched with Hitler during the Beer Hall Putsch. He had marched with Himmler. He had been briefly arrested because of the failure of that attempted takeover. Havel then went to England for about a year or so, and then from England he went to Indonesia, what is now Indonesia, the Dutch East Indies at the time. He spent more than 10 years in Indonesia, and during that time he set up Nazi party operations in all the major cities of Indonesia. So you had Nazi party meetings in Jakarta, which was called Batavia in those days, in Surabaya, all over the place in Indonesia. There were Nazi party operations. There was a Nazi party in place. He came back to Germany when Hitler came back to power. When he became Chancellor of Germany, he called Havel back, and he became part of the Nazi Foreign Office. He was kind of an ambassador at large. He was one of the last people to leave the Berlin bunker in 1945, and no one knows what happened to Havel since then. The rumors are that he died somehow during the Russian takeover of Berlin, but his body's never been found. So Havel was a person who was instrumental in setting that up. And then in the 1950s, you had a guy called Hjalmar Schacht. Schacht was Hitler's finance minister. He went to Jakarta. He went to Indonesia to advise Sukarno, then the first president of Indonesia, advising him on how to create financial stability in his country based on the Nazi model, and was advising Sukarno to create an Islamic caliphate that would extend from about Malaysia and Thailand all the way through Indonesia and the Philippines to act as a buffer against Chinese communism. That was really the beginning of the terrorist movements in Southeast Asia. And, of course, we have the Islamic Caliphate now in the Middle East. These were all ideas that were being promoted by the Nazis right after World War II had been over. They were trying to get, once again, the Muslims to be their foot soldiers in the fight against communism. And some of the most high-ranking and most visible names of the Nazi Party, of the survivors of the Nazi Party, were very much involved in doing this.
Why didn't we...
Heinrich Herrer in Tibet, remember 7 years in Tibet? Heinrich Herrer, the guy played by Brad Pitt.
Absolutely.
Here was a guy who was a friend of the Dalai Lama, who was an SS officer and an officer in the SA, the stormtroopers, as we found out later, and who we now believe, because of documents that have recently come to light, as I talk about in the book, that Heinrich Herrer was also working for American intelligence at the time when he was there in Tibet with the Dalai Lama.
Why didn't we do anything to stop this? Is it because we constantly need to be in a state of war?
Well, we constantly need to be fighting communism, I guess, and we made friends with everybody to do that. So we made friends with some of the worst people in the world. And as I say, we sold our soul. We did not have to do this. We're better than that. We're smarter than that. But we were frightened. We were frightened by the Soviet Union for reasons that are hard to understand at this remove. And we were doing everything possible to fight them, including making deals with Nazis and every other kind of extreme right-wing zealot that we could find. And the church helped, not just the Catholic Church. The evangelicals helped. The Lutheran Church helped. The documentation is all there. The Red Cross was involved. Everybody was involved in helping these people in promoting this underground network and making sure that it survived.
How close is it to being completely global right now, today? How close are we to that?
Well, look around you. The the philosophy of Nazism has not gone anywhere, has not disappeared. Nazism comes back, and it comes back without the stormtroopers. It comes back without the jackboots and the ridiculous helmets and all the rest of it.
That's right.
It comes back as guys dressed in business suits. Okay, it comes back as politicians glad-handing you. It comes back in all different kinds of forms. The Nazis got very, very intelligent after the end of the war. They realized that you can't wear swastika armbands anymore and have anybody respect you. So they're doing it differently. They've morphed. They're morphing constantly, but the basic ideology is still there. It is an anti-materialist philosophy. They see communism and capitalism both as materialism, so they're against that. They're for a kind of weird spiritual extremism, you might say. And what they're trying to do with this is to create a new world order. You know, that term that's been used so many times, but it's got nothing to do with communism or socialism. It's got nothing to do with capitalism. This is something that's new, that's different. And they're using at this point, as my documents suggest, they're using the Islamic movements to help create the instability they need so they can come in and take better control.
When we come back, more with Peter Levenda. This is, I'm serious, the reason to listen to AM radio over the night. This is why you learn, you get taken on a journey. Don't forget, we started in 1947. We started right there with Kenneth Arnold and Maury Island in the original ufology sightings, where flying saucer, that term was coined. And now we are dealing with global jihad, ISIS, global terrorism. It's all connected. I'll be back right after this. You are listening to Coast AM. More with Peter Levenda. After the break, we're going to find out what is the concern, what can we do about Nazism as a threat today, and also the influence in Islamic terrorism. I will be back after this. This is Coast to Coast AM. Welcome back. For those who know me, think that I picked all of this music tonight. No, that is all on Dan, and that is called Synchronicity. Had a great time. Amazing music tonight. Welcome back. This is Coast to Coast AM. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. I host a show called Fade to Black on the Dark Matter Radio Network, and I had said at the beginning of the show, George became a fan. He called in one night, and that was back in May, and here we are tonight, just going through the night together. Really appreciate it with guest Peter Levenda. The book is called The Hitler Legacy, The Nazi Cult in Diaspora, How It Was Organized, How It Was Funded, and Why It Remains a Threat to Global Security in the Age of Terrorism. It ties it all together. Little Green Men, UFOs, NASA, JPL, the Kennedy assassination, the Apollo program, and our issues with global terrorism today. We'll be back with more from Peter Levenda right after this. Stay with us. All right, welcome back, Coast to Coast AM. I have to thank Peter Levenda for coming in and staying with us to the bitter end tonight. It's such an amazing story, and I thought it was so important. And it is what late night, overnight AM radio is all about, isn't it, Peter? Thank you so much.
My pleasure.
Now, the question is, now that we've painted this crazy story, this bleak picture, what can we do? What's the good news?
Well, one of the things that is actually a positive note in all of this is the growth of the Internet. I mean, we do have access to alternate sources of information, and that's the first line of defense here. There's narratives that are being put out by all sorts of people with other agendas. If you want to pursue stories like this, if you want to find out what the truth is, you have to get beyond the ideology. The ideology will trip you up. Go where the evidence leads you, no matter where it leads you. It will lead you into some very strange places, and you're going to doubt what you're looking at. But if you can verify what you're looking at, if you can find other sources that support it, you'll get closer and closer to the truth. This is basically all we can do is on our own defend ourselves against the kind of groupthink that is being promoted these days. I mean, we're all victims of a sort of a cultural revolution that's taking place, which is not a particularly good one, where reality TV has done its number on us. A lot of Internet sites are contributing to all of that as well. So we're being distracted from the real things that are going on around us by worrying about celebrities and that sort of thing. We're losing our focus on what's important. we're looking for distraction. We've had so many problems in the last 20 years or so that we're looking for diversion, and that's a dangerous thing. That's what the Romans used to do. They used to talk about bread and circus, and that's what we have these days: bread and circus. We're basically living on fast food, and we're watching television programs that are basically concealing the truth from us, concealing the evidence from us, even if it's a news program. So what you have to do is just become a better consumer of information. That's the one thing that we all have to do. We have to look at what's happening around us and realize that our reality is being encroached upon. It's being created, manipulated behind the scenes. What we think we know, we really don't know, and that's something that I've come across, the realization I've come to in my life ever since those days when I was 17 and 18 years old with this church that I really didn't understand and could only really understand years and years later when documents became available and I suddenly realized that I was looking at the names of people that I personally knew. I was in the middle of it and didn't realize.
Okay, Morris, we're back. I just wanted to give you a little tidbit of the underbelly of what we are experiencing inside of America that's not coming across the airwaves, and so that you would know, because see, we're dealing with, a lot of us go to church, and when we go to church, we're dealing with a familiar thing that we know about and all this, and we really believe this in our hearts and stuff. And we think that we are doing the right thing, but we have forgotten the historicity of the situation that Negroes, colored, blacks, African Americans, Afro Americans, and all this here, and slavery and all that, has been put in. But when you come face to face with the hardcore reality of something that is different, behooves us to use wisdom, right? That's the way I see it. Because in the reason I say that is because I in 1968 and 1969 and stuff, I was in a totally African American neighborhood. I went to a totally African American dominated school. Everybody in there looked like me. It was wonderful. You have, brothers, look, let me tell you something. You have no idea what it's like to look around you and see brothers and your sisters, and that's all. Period. The air is filled with us. It's indigenous to us. It's cohesive to us. This is where I come from. It was magnificent to watch the majorettes, to watch the brothers, and y'all think that y'all watching football. You ain't watching no football, man. I'm telling you, I was there on the ground in practice and saw it in real life. Watching a brother, what do you call him? Split end, running, catch the ball, and both of his legs get broke in real life. But now we have what we're calling football. If you don't play the game, play it for real. Now, I'm not saying that we should be hurting anybody, because I know y'all can't even fathom that. But I'm just trying to tell you that there was a time when the game was real, and what we are witnessing today is something that is being manufactured to be real, so somebody else can profit from it. But It was quite an amazing thing. I want to put that information out there for you so that you can understand that there's something that has occurred inside the United States of America now, and that will explain a whole lot of things. When you go in certain churches where everybody in there that don't look like you, they are not dealing with the same thing that you think they should be dealing with. They are dealing with what comes from their ancient records and stuff, and it has absolutely nothing to do with what you know and about God, about nothing. This is amazing science and stuff. You have to know that it exists, and the people that are participating in it has it in their brain. So when they run into Negro, colors, and blacks, they have no respect, no knowledge, no nothing about nothing. Man, this doesn't have anything to do with what I know about. Nothing. Nothing whatsoever. So therefore and thus, it behooves you to save yourself. I'm here every day, and I work with people, and my people come first. Everybody else comes second. That does not have anything to do with hate. It doesn't have anything to do with what's commonly referred to, what's commonly known in the brains of people as racism. Don't have nothing to do with that. The only thing that could make you free is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. You have to tell the truth. Now, sometimes when you tell the truth, man, that hurts. That goes against the grain of all the BS. But after BS come tumbling down, then ain't nothing left but the truth. Anytime you tell a lie, you got to keep on telling a lie. Keep on doing maintenance on a lie to keep it propped up until the lie is faced with a man that knows the truth, or a woman that knows the truth and ain't scared to tell it and looking forward to telling it. That's how you live. It's a lot of fun, especially when you start doing it right, because everybody that's upset don't need killing. It just needs a little information. And when they get the information stuff, they start thinking about some stuff, because even your worst enemy have children and grandchildren and stuff, and they all want to live. He's just mad with you. Things around when we start thinking and start looking at the whole picture. There's no such thing in America as a man or a woman that is a Negro, colored, black, African American, Afro American. It does not exist. There's nobody on the planet, in my opinion, that can respect you if you insist on being something that you're not. I mean, if somebody say, well, you're a black guy, objection. Hold on a minute. I have a nationality. I'm something like that. Yeah. She's black. What? Hold it. We got to object. Thing. We got to. Let me read this into the record. Oh no, we can't let you read that into the record. No, I got to read it into the record. Oh no, we can't let you read it into the record. Objection. Amazing. Anyway, we don't have to be jumping through all of them hoops and stuff. And I wanted to do this broadcast so that we can get these three things clearly understood from every angle that the time would allow me to give it to you, including the information about Nazis and all that, because that, it's a whole different twist. Because, see, in order for you to understand something, you have to go back and you have to deal with everything that forms and was put in place, and all the tomatoes and the rice and the scallions and the tomatoes and the seasoning, everything that went in the pot, so we could taste it all. And that just so happened that was part of it. I want to bring it to you so you can understand that part. Because there's not, the Creator, he only put 2 people on the planet. And actually, he put 1, and that was a man. And then the story goes, well, I'm going to take something from the man and create a woman. And I'm going to call them male and female. That's a whole different story. We're going to eventually get down off into that also. But anyway, keep in mind that we will be in Atlanta in August. And I have been your host, Tarhaka Amana LB. I hope y'all got something out of this broadcast. But I'm going to go ahead and close it down, and y'all stay tuned for my next broadcast, okay? Y'all take it easy.
I called your house the other night. Strange voice on the phone. Knew something just wasn't right. Oh, yeah. I didn't know exactly what to do, so I hung the phone.